Pete the Cat Falling for Autumn by Kimberly and James Dean. Today we're gonna read such a beautiful story. Let's listen. It is the first day of fall and Pete the cat is feeling blue. I like summer better, he says. In summer, I can swim and surf and play at the beach. Maybe you just need to remind yourself of all the things you love about autumn, Mom suggests. Pete says, I'll try. See, we love summer and autumn both, but we forget, and then once it comes back, then we get all our memories back. Pete finds Grandma in the kitchen. She's baking delicious pumpkin pies. The whole house smells sweet and spicy. Pete loves helping Grandma bake pumpkin pie, but he loves helping eat it even more, right? All the kids do that. Wow. First, after the baking is done, Pete picks a squat orange pumpkin from the counter and slips it into his backpack as souvenir. Next, Pete heads to the town corn maze. Pete and his friends wander through the long, twisty paths made of tall corn stalks. The best part of the corn maze is getting lost and having to start over again. Wow. As he leaves, Pete plucks a golden corn cob from the maze and places it inside his backpack. Just keep collecting things. Then Pete visits Grandpa, who is knitting on the porch. Grandpa helps Pete use the knitting needles to knit the yarn into cool patterns. Together, Pete and Grandpa make a long, cozy scarf for Pete to wear. When they are done, Pete chooses a little ball of leftover yarn and places it inside his backpack. He's collecting all his memories, whatever he's doing. Next, Pete goes to the hayride at the park. Pete, Bob, Mom, Dad, and Grandpa all pile into a wagon filled with hay. They go on a bumpy wagon ride around the park. Woohoo! Pete shouts. See, we all go for these things in the village. At the end of the ride, Pete grabs a handful of sweet-smelling hay from the wagon and stuffs it into his backpack. Pete heads over to the apple orchard, where he and Kelly go apple picking. They eat sweet apples, donuts, and drink hot apple cider, and fill their buckets with apple of all different shapes and sizes. Before he leaves, Pete chooses a round red apple and drops it into his backpack, like all other things he did. Next, Pete stops by the park. He plays touch football with Bob and their friends. Pete scores a touchdown and everyone cheers for him. After the game, Pete grabs Bob's football and stuffs it into his backpack. It barely fits though. You can see, it's not even fitting into. Bob won't mind if I borrow this, Pete says. See, you always should ask your friend. Finally, Pete heads back home, but he stops in his front yard, which is covered in bright leaves falling from the trees. See, in autumns there are a lot of leaves fall, right? Pete helps his dad rake the leaves into big colorful mounds. Then Pete runs and jumps into all the leaf piles. This is another game that they play. After he is done jumping, Pete picks a bunch of red and gold and orange leaves and stuffs them into his backpack. He collected few leaves as well. Pete's backpack is bursting with false souvenirs and can't wait to show Mom. I love autumn, Pete says. Wonderful, says Mom. You know, these would make great decoration for Thanksgiving. So, Thanksgiving also comes in autumn, see? So, Pete helps Mom fill the basket with all his mementos. They place the basket at the center of the table. You did a great job, Pete, says Mom. It's beautiful, says Dad. Is that my football? Asks Bob. Just then the doorbell rings. Thanksgiving guests are here. All of Pete's family and friends gather around the dining room table. They tell stories and laugh at jokes while they eat. Everyone is having a great time. Pete looks around the table and smiles. He loves lot of things about autumn, but Pete knows what he loves most year long, his family and friends. Such a beautiful story. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such beautiful stories. Thank you.